At the ceremony is taking place. Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Shah, BJP Chief Ministers are in attendance. Swearing in of the Chief Minister of Rajasthan is being taking place right now. The top leadership of the BJP is in attendance for the swearing in ceremony. These are the live, in fact, these are visuals also coming in about the preparations that are also taking place in the area. We have information that the Prime Minister is in fact on his way towards the dais where the swearing in ceremony will take place. Bhajan Lal Sharma is the first time MLA from the Sanganer constituency. He is known to be an astute worker when it comes to the party's efforts on the ground, and the swearing in of Rajasthan CM will take place in a short while. The former Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot is also in attendance, and it looks like it's going to be a big day for the BJP in Rajasthan. We're also joined in by Sunny Sebastian, senior journalist who joins us. Sunny Sebastian, well, there was this huge guessing game that was there, and were you actually surprised by the choice of Bhajan Lal Sharma?
Of course. Like anybody else in the state or others, like even party workers, we were all surprised. And after that, nobody is making any guess on the possible members of the cabinet. That kind of surprise, that was a kind of shock in which everybody was rather stupefied. Very unexpected kind of choice from the BJP leadership. Of course, first time MLA, and he has been around in the party. He has been 4 times General Secretary, started as a Sarpanch, BJYM President of Bharatpur district. And then later on, of course, he worked with 4 party presidents, starting with Vasundhara Raje and ending with the previous one. Latest designation was of vice president. So that way, he has credentials as a party worker and a party organizer, but a beginner, first timer in election politics and also in administration. He hasn't held any position in any of these organizations or in any institutions. So it's going to be a first-time affair for the new CM. Along with that, his deputies are also first-timers. Diya Kumari doesn't have any experience as a minister, and Mr. Bhairava also doesn't have any experience as a minister. So it is going to be very interesting to watch how BJP is going to form a kind of balanced ministry in Rajasthan, which is geographically the biggest state in the country. That way, it's like whether it is going to be controlled. This is no fear of people. Some of the observers that whether it is going to be controlled totally from Delhi, or the new chief minister has a will of his own. So we have to wait and see for that.
We have to wait and see for that. But then how do you see the surprise wildcard entries, especially when we call it in this particular game of politics? These were surprises, you were saying. But why is BJP going for such wildcard entries? Because there are tried and tested leaders who have experience on their side. But we have seen how BJP can come up with surprises. And this was also, as you said, was in fact a surprise. But why would a party go with such surprises?
See, this choice is in consonance with the choices elsewhere, like in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh also. They have gone for comparatively newcomers. And of course, they have taken all 3 states together to balance the equations, caste equations, looking into the forthcoming Lok Sabha elections. So there is a tribal CM, there is an OBC CM, and there is an upper caste Manas CM. But interestingly, or rather curiously, this is the top 3 are, at least 2 of them are upper caste. One is Kshatriya and one is a Rajput and the other is a Brahmin. The third one is a Dalit. So there are underrepresented communities like OBC. I don't know how they are going to balance the OBC gap in the OBC leadership or representation, and also tribals also are to be represented properly. Of course, regional imbalances are there. All three are from Jaipur. Two are elected from Jaipur, and the other one is from Bassi, which is only 50 kilometers from Jaipur town, Jaipur city. And also even the speaker whose name was announced along with the name of the CM and the deputy CMs, Mr. Devanani, he is from Ajmer. Ajmer also is like touching these Jaipur constituencies. So it is going to be a kind of very delicate balancing act for the BJP in the coming days when they decide on the cabinet ministers. Or we don't know whether it is going to be again this an experimental approach towards ministry making, whether there would be a lot of newcomers in the new cabinet also. It has to be seen. But then how it would be run, how the government would be run, there is always a danger of bureaucracy getting, bureaucracy dominating the scene. There has been common complaint in Rajasthan that bureaucracy is always powerful than the politicians. It has been there for quite some time, ever since the inception of the state, that bureaucracy is always powerful. So if this is with this kind of an inexperienced team, bureaucracy has to be powerful. They are bound to take over rather. So it is going to be interesting now how they are going to do it.
Well, also, Sunny Sebastian, as you were saying, that particular aspect of caste calculus, which the BJP is in fact looking into, has probably led to this kind of a decision. But Rajasthan seems to be set. It seems to be having a huge majority. But then the big question is that everyone would be asking is, what would be that of Vasundhara Raje?
See, on the stage, Mrs. Raje was not shown by the TV, live cameras. There was no comment about her presence or absence, but she was not kind of visible on the stage. If she is not there, then it's a kind of protest on her part. Otherwise, on the day the name was announced, she controlled herself, even though she was looking very grim. She controlled herself, did not make any kind of unusual kind of body expressions. But the issue is how long, what she has been promised, or whether she has been promised anything at all, or is it going to be like take it or leave it kind of attitude on the part of the Delhi leadership? It is going to be seen. Especially stakes are high for Raje, not only of her leadership, also of her son's political career. He is an MP from Jhalawad, the constituency once she represented, so that she has to weigh in these aspects also before taking the next move. So she also would be, I think, very cautious about it. But if she doesn't act in the near future, her leadership would be more or less, I think, over in Rajasthan.
All right. I think they are going to start with the ceremony as of now, and we are getting the live visuals from Jaipur, from Albert Hall. We can see enthusiastic crowds out there who've come to.
मैं भजन लाल शर्मा ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा। मैं राजस्थान राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगा तथा मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगा। मैं भजन लाल शर्मा ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि जो विषय राजस्थान राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे मंत्री के रूप में मैं अपने कर्तव्यों के सम्यक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगा।
Well, we have the new Chief Minister of Rajasthan taking the oath. He has gone with the formalities, has taken the oath from the Governor and, of course, the Prime Minister congratulating the new Chief Minister of Rajasthan.
महोदय, मनोनीत उप मुख्यमंत्री सुश्री दिया कुमारी अपने पद तथा गोपनीयता की शपथ ग्रहण करने के लिए यहाँ उपस्थित हैं। महोदय, कृपया अब आप मनोनीत उप मुख्यमंत्री को पद एवं गोपनीयता की शपथ ग्रहण करावें।
मैं दिया कुमारी ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूँ कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगी। मैं भारत की प्रभुत्ता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगी। मैं राजस्थान राज्य के उप मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगी तथा मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगी। मैं दिया कुमारी ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूँ कि जो विषय राजस्थान राज्य के उप मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के सम्यक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगी।
That is in fact the Deputy Chief Minister, one of the Deputy Chief Minister, Diya Kumari, taking the oath of office. We also have Premchand Bhairava who will be taking the oath of office soon. We had the Chief Minister there also congratulating the Deputy Chief Minister, Diya Kumari.
मनोनीत उप मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर प्रेमचंद बैरवा अपने पद तथा गोपनीयता की शपथ ग्रहण करने के लिए यहाँ उपस्थित हैं। महोदय, कृपया अब आप मनोनीत उप मुख्यमंत्री को पद एवं गोपनीयता की शपथ ग्रहण करावें।
मैं डॉक्टर प्रेमचंद बैरवा ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा। मैं राजस्थान राज्य के उप मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगा तथा मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगा। मैं डॉक्टर प्रेमचंद बैरवा ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि जो विषय राजस्थान राज्य के उप मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी प्रकार या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के सम्यक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप में संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगा।
That was in fact Premchand Bhairava who took on the oath as the Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan. So the initial cabinet is established in Rajasthan. We have Bhajan Lal Sharma as the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Diya Kumari as well as Premchand Bhairava as the Deputy Chief Ministers of Rajasthan. And in attendance is Prime Minister Modi, him congratulating the Deputy Chief Minister as well, and Bhajan Lal Sharma there. The initial higher cabinet ranking is in place with the Chief Minister as well as the Deputy Chief Ministers of Rajasthan being sworn in. Well, Sebastian, the oath-taking ceremony is complete, and of course now the big question is who will be the Home Minister, who's going to get the development portfolios, the Panchayat. So this would be the big speculation that is going to do the rounds now. So that is something that all eyes will be looking at, and probably even the journalists will be speculating as to which portfolios will go to whom. But again, what could be the compromise formula that could have been struck with Vasundhara Raje to probably achieve something like this?
Before I come to Vasundhara Raje, I want to point out that this is the birthday. Today is the birthday of the Chief Minister, newly sworn in Chief Minister Bhajan Lal Sharma.
Oh, okay.
And there was a lot of symbolism. In the morning, he washed the feet of his parents and also visited important temples, and again fed the green grass to the cows. He went to the goshalas and fed the cows also. That is one thing. Secondly, interestingly, I don't know whether others noticed, he didn't touch the feet of Prime Minister Modi when he went to him to receive the congratulations after taking oath. So that is another interesting thing. Then these deputy chief ministers, they took oath as deputy chief ministers. There is a debate going on in Rajasthan whether this deputy chief minister, there is no provision for deputy chief minister in the rules now. So he, like chief minister is first among equals among the ministers. That is a traditional kind of definition. Deputy CM is just a cabinet minister now. So, but they took oath as deputy chief ministers. That is also interesting. So now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of interesting aspects being brought out in this, but the fact remains is that it looks like the BJP is looking at a particular caste calculations where it wants communities to be represented.
Yeah, also it is interesting, like you mentioned about the who is going to be the Home Minister and who is going to be the Finance Minister. Whether the CM himself keeps these portfolios like Ashok Gehlot, the previous Chief Minister, did. But then when he was made the CM first, Gehlot did not hold any portfolio. He was free of all portfolios. He distributed all the portfolios and kept monitoring other departments. I don't know whether BJP would also go for leaving the CM with light portfolios and allowing him to monitor other departments. So that is to be seen, or whether initially it was thought that along with this CM and Deputy CM, there would be about a dozen plus, like maybe 15 or so. Ministers also would be sworn in, but that is not taking place. Maybe by evening, their names would be out, so that the government can start functioning in the right earnest.
Well, I think the biggest speculation is on that, whether which person will be getting what portfolio and whether it will be the right kind of mix that we are looking at. Other than the community representation, regional representation is also something which is in the mind of a lot of BJP leaders as well, because, you're going up to 2024. They don't want any regions also to be lost out from the representation factor. That is also going to be one of those criterions for deciding on who gets what portfolio.
Yes, yes. No, actually, they have to give important portfolios from for MLAs from Marwar, that is Jodhpur, Pali, Jalore, Nagaur, Jaisalmer, Badmer, or Mewat, that is Udaipur, Pratapgarh, Bhilwara, Banswara areas. So party did well, BJP did well in these divisions in Rajasthan, and they have to bring in important and senior leaders from these areas as ministers and hand over them important portfolios so that proper representation is there. At present, there is an imbalance because all top three are from Jaipur division and also the speaker. So that way, they have to maybe there is a pattern. There is a pattern in what they are going to do, but important. Maybe they will balance it with the party organization. Now, the Chief Minister is a Sharma, Brahmin, and also the party president is a Brahmin. So party president will have to, I think it has to be some other, caste, most probably Jat. So with that kind of thing, it can be balanced, but people always love to be in power. So more hankering would be for becoming ministers. But if that is not there, then they agree for organizational positions. Anyway, ruling party is an important organization. So also party is getting so much importance, in the present day situation. So that also is not a bad idea. But initially these areas have to be represented in the first round itself. Half of the cabinet, like they can have 30 ministers in an assembly of 200. So maybe they will go for 15 first initially, another 12. And then wait for an expansion later on. So that whether that would happen before the Lok Sabha, it is not very clear. Maybe depending on the performance, they can review the situation and go for more ministers later.
Also, Sunny Sebastian, now we've seen how it happens in Rajasthan. We have seen probably two veteran politicians on the sidelines now. Ashok Gehlot, of course, now not in power, but then in the BJP, you have Vasundhara Raje also in the sidelines. Do you think Vasundhara Raje is the person who will sit in the sidelines?
See, I want to mention about Ashok Gehlot. Interestingly, he reached before half an hour before the oath, maybe even 40 minutes before, and he was found talking with the Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. They are sworn enemies otherwise. There are cases filed against each other, and they have been fighting a bitter battle in the court and outside and making speeches against each other. But both of them were found smiling and talking to each other. So that was an interesting scene. Anyway, he was the acting CM before the oath took place. But this is an interesting development. Anyway, the fight between them will have to continue because they are all serious cases, including telephone tapping and such things. And about Raje, I could not spot her in the crowd of important people. So details will be following only. That means a kind of a protest or a token protest. Too early to say because maybe she was sitting somewhere in the huge crowd of VVIPs also. The 11 chief ministers and all important people and party luminaries and all. So Vasundhara Raje would be an important factor, and if she has kept away, that is a big, very big development.
All right, and another factor that we are looking at is that when this election happened, the big question being asked is like, how will the other person who had created rebellion pilot. How will he, in fact, be seen in the new dispensation? Will it be the position open for a big fight to lead the Congress in Rajasthan now?
See, now I think Pilot is not even seen as a rebel anymore, because the vanquished party won't keep such grievances. Of course, there is an allegation that Vijay did not vote for Congress like they did last time. But then you cannot hold Sachin responsible for that. Maybe morally responsible, but not otherwise. And also, there is no clear proof now that he did something for Vijay not voting for Congress. But then, of course, now it is a new party would start on a new slate, I suppose, and they will go for an opposition leader who is, if a Jat is chosen as the opposition leader, then the PCC position will go to somebody else. Now the PCC president is a Jat, Govind Singh Dotasara, so he has also won the election. So it can be decided whether the Jat would be inside the house or outside. So they have to make a balance of this thing. Immediately, I don't think Ashok Gehlot would have any position in the party or in the assembly, or he would take it. Maybe a cooling off period is there. But then Sachin, of course, since he cannot be held directly responsible, he can be leader of the opposition, or he can go back to his earlier position of PCC president, in which the party had for the election and won also. So there are a lot of possibilities. There are a lot of leaders to choose from also. But if Congress hasn't decided to retire the senior leaders like BJP did, then of course after maybe they will start working for the Lok Sabha election, where party had lost all the 25 seats. Maybe they can try to get at least 50% of of the total 25 seats in Rajasthan. So that's a possibility.
Well, also another factor that we have to in fact look into this, especially when it comes to Rajasthan, is that there are a lot of MPs who contested. They have won, some have lost out. Now, some of them would be actually looking at a cabinet berth because they have in fact contested for the local assembly polls. How do you think that particular interest group also will be accommodated in this?
Initially, it was thought that two of the MPs, either one is an ST, Bhajan Lal Sharma, and the other one is an SC, Mr. Megwal, would be made deputy CMs. Since deputy CMs are also new, so these people are available, but we don't know whether they would be given important positions. They have experience in governance, and Bhajan Lal Sharma has been he's an old hand, knowing Rajasthan and administration also very well. So we have to see whether, but then of course he is known as a hot-headed person. Finance giving him home ministry would make other castes feel insecure in Rajasthan. There is a problem with handing over home ministry to certain castes in Rajasthan. I don't know whether it is there in other states. If a particular caste is chosen, a member of the caste is chosen to be the home minister, other caste members, especially vulnerable caste, feel insecure, because even otherwise the caste is aggressive, and when they have a minister heading the department, home department, that caste can create a lot of problems and imbalances in rural areas of Rajasthan, like almost taking over the administration of police stations and things like that. That is normal, in this part of the country.
So then what we are looking at is probably a big fight for the finance and home. But then how are Rajasthan's finances right now? If a new finance minister is supposed to take it, it's going to be difficult or it's going to be easy with him? Does the treasury have enough to go ahead with the schemes that they have also announced?
See, a lot of liabilities are there. A lot of liabilities have been created also. But then it is believed that BJP may cancel certain kind of initiatives taken by the Congress. Liabilities will go down with that. Maybe they will introduce new, and also people are expecting certain relief also. Like one is reduction in the prices of petrol. That is one thing. Secondly, they are also expecting this gas cylinders at a lower cost. People are also worried about this government ending this Chiranjeevi Yojana, which is offering free medical treatment up to 25 lakhs. That was a major relief to people of Rajasthan. And the Congress in its manifesto had hiked it to 50 lakhs. Anyway, 50 lakh won't stay. Even if 25 lakh stays, that would be a major relief. So relief of not cancelling the things Congress started, and people are expecting relief of adding on new things like petrol prices and all.
All right. Thank you for, in fact, speaking to us, especially as Rajasthan gets its new ministers in place, its nascent cabinet is in place. Just a few minutes ago, we had a cabinet being sworn in. Bhajan Lal Sharma took oath as the new Chief Minister of Rajasthan. Diya Kumari as well as Premchand Bhairava have taken oath as the Deputy Chief Ministers of Rajasthan. Well, with that, we slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere. We will come back with more news and updates.
The scale of the attack was something that we were surprised at. David Hadley was a double agent. The Americans did not want him to be fully exposed, so all that he probably shared with the Americans was not shared with us in terms of intelligence. If we had that, I'm sure that we would have been able to deal with the situation far better.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now. China won't let us rest easy on our borders, but they will keep flooding our markets. What does Xi Jinping really want?
I think he wants the Indian market, no doubt about it. It's really a matter of showing their dominance.
India's great Chinese conundrum.
Nobody can contain it. Not the United States, not China, not anybody else.
Frenemies. This and more streaming on the world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
Pakistani spy agency ISI's sinister plan to target India. Training women to honey trap top civil and military officials. Counter honey trapping ops initiated by India. But gullible victims still caught in the web. Top military intelligence experts break down the web of deception. Colonel Hani Bakshi explains the phenomena of honey trap.
जहाँ पे भी आपको लगेगा, उनको लगेगा कि there is a person who is susceptible to women, who's making a lot of women friends on the social media. That is where they will make a spoof account and then start luring the person.
Colonel Pavitran Rajan decodes the psyche of the victim and the predator.
But when you go up the chain, no one enforces it to people at the top. That disciplinary regime and the security regime is not enforced at the top. And they usually have a public profile where it is much more easier to approach that person.
A News9 special on how modern technology has added teeth to the ancient spying tactic.
Our story takes you inside Pakistan's honey trap machine.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
The Madras High Court has referred to a News9 report which highlighted that 250 brand new veterinary ambulances were left unused for months by the DMK government because it had the picture of Prime Minister Modi on it. Now, the ambulances were bought at a cost of 39 crores. BJP Tamil Nadu Chief K. Annamalai alleged that these ambulances were unused for almost 6 months. Now, the vehicles were funded by BJP-led centre and made last year. The DMK government was supposed to implement the mobile veterinary clinics and use the ambulances. But right now, after the wrap from the HC and reference to the report, it is being said that the government has decided to implement the mobile veterinary clinics and use the ambulances after the HC wrap. The famous Sabrimala temple in Kerala's Pathanamthitta district finds itself embroiled in yet another row over the Travancore Devasam board coming under fire for failing to manage the heavy rush of devotees. As many as several devotees were seen forced to return without a darshan. It has also turned into a contest of political upmanship with the BJP, the Congress and caste groups accusing the ruling Democratic Front government of poor crowd management in the hill shrine. Even as Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan claimed that the situation at Lord Ayyappa Shrine in Sabrimala was under control, local reports stated that devotees have to wait for at least 18 hours to reach the shrine. Meanwhile, Shashi Tharoor has also tweeted on the situation in Sabrimala. The gross mismanagement of Sabrimala pilgrimage by the LDF government in Kerala has been sadly underreported in the national news media. The government has failed the basic management of the pilgrimage and failed to deploy enough police forces and also failed to arrange sufficient bus services and failed to provide adequate levels of medical support or food and water. If this had occurred closer to Delhi, it would have been depicted as national disgrace. It's time we saw for that. It is incompetence, neglect and callousness by we don't give a damn attitude government. All the measures belatedly announced yesterday are too little, too late. The Parliament security breach rocked both houses for the second day. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha witnessed opposition uproar as soon as the session started. The chair was forced to adjourn proceedings in view of the bedlam. Now, on Thursday, as many as 14 opposition members were suspended from the Lok Sabha for causing disruptions. Additionally, TMC MP Derek O'Brien was suspended from the Rajya Sabha. The opposition is asking for a statement from Home Minister Amidst Shah on the security breach.
And Mr. Chadha, you don't have to do like this to raise a point of order. Use your tongue. No, don't do it.
Well, Lalit Jha, the suspected mastermind behind the shocking security breach in Parliament, has surrendered to the police. He walked into the police station at Kartavya Path and gave himself up after being on the run for almost 2 days. The Kolkata-based teacher claimed he travelled by bus to Rajasthan's Nagaur via Nimrana, where he was staying at a hotel with 2 friends and travelled to Kartavya Path station when he came to know that the police were behind him. The accused disclosed that he set the mobile phones of all the other 4 accused on fire. Lalit had fled the scene after recording video of the incident. They had organised the smoke protest inside the parliament in a bid to draw attention to unemployment, farm issues and Manipur situation. The group is associated with the Fans of Bhagat Singh Facebook page. Now, the Delhi police have got custody of the accused. They have been charged under UAP and other sections of the Indian Penal Code. Police have argued in court that their operation resembled a terror attack and that a further probe into their linkages is required. Let's now take a look at how the accused successfully concealed the smoke canisters within their shoes. Sagar Sharma's LCR grey sport shoes revealed a cut cavity in the left foot sole with an added rubber sole for support. A pair of light khaki socks was accompanied by the shoes and stored in a sealed transparent plastic box which was marked as SC seal. Now, Manoranjan D's SRY dark greyish support shoes in fact showcased a cut cavity in the left foot sole and partial cutting in the right foot sole. Additional rubber soles were affixed with for support, with blue socks placed in a separate sealed plastic box marked with the SC seal. Two partly torn pamphlets labelled 1 and 2 were seized. Pamphlet 1 featured printed Jai Hind slogan in English with the tricolour's first image and a Hindi slogan. Pamphlet 2 with an English slogan on the Manipur issue was stored in separate plastic covers, both seized through the seizure memo. Meanwhile, the Belagavi woman assault case is becoming a full-blown political issue. MPs from Karnataka's opposition BJP staged protests against the handling of the case by the Siddaramaiah government. BJP MP Shobha Karnalaje hit out at the ruling Congress government in Karnataka.
ಹಲ್ಲೆ ಮಾಡಿದವರನ್ನ ಬಂಧಿಸದ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಧಿಕ್ಕಾರ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಧಿಕ್ಕಾರ
Kamala Nayak is paraded naked and she is tied to an electric pole, beaten, brutally beaten, and government is running their Vidhan Sabha session near to her village, that is in Belgaum. It's going on. All the ministers, chief minister, DCM, सब लोग उधर ही है, फिर भी एक भी अभी तक उधर तक नहीं पहुंचे. And it's happened in the constituency of Women and Child Welfare Minister, and no action has taken. That's why the High Court अभी बीच में आए हैं. हाई कोर्ट इंक्वायरी करना चाहते हैं, फिर भी सरकार चुप है. मैंने पूछना चाहती हूँ सिद्धरामैया क्यों चुप है? Why you are silent? Why Home Minister is silent? Why DCM is silent? And the culprits are running away, and no one is taking action.
The Karnataka High Court had asked the state government to file an additional status report on the Belagavi brutality case in which a woman was allegedly paraded naked, tied to an electricity pole and assaulted. An additional status report because the bench said that the status report placed before it was too short on many aspects. Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud has asked for a report after an open letter by a judicial officer from Uttar Pradesh claiming alleged sexual harassment by her senior in a previous posting. Now, in an open letter, the judicial officer requested permission to end her life in a dignified manner. On the instructions of Chief Justice Chandrachud, the Supreme Court Secretary General Atul M. Kurhekar has now written to the Registrar General of the Allahabad High Court asking for a report on the matter. The woman judge is said to have written the open letter on sexual harassment by a senior. Chandrachud has in fact asked for a report on the matter from the Allahabad HC. The letter that was written by them had become viral and it was brought to the notice of the Chief Justice as well. The person is said to have said that she has in fact been harassed and there was no help coming her way. The Supreme Court has refused to stay the order of Allahabad High Court allowing a court-monitored survey of the Shahi Idgah premises adjoining the Krishna Janmabhoomi temple in Mathura. Secretary of the Shahi Idgah Masjid Management Committee and Advocate Tanveer Ahmed had moved the court. The Allahabad High Court had on Thursday allowed a court-monitored survey of the Shahi Idgah complex, an important milestone in the temple mosque dispute in Mathura. To be a very important development when it comes to the Shahi Idgah premises. The Supreme Court has refused to stay the order of Allahabad High Court allowing for a court-monitored survey of the Shahi Idgah premises adjoining the Krishna Janmabhoomi temple in Mathura. Secretary of the Shahi Idgah Masjid Management Committee had in fact approached the SC asking for a stay on that survey. The Allahabad High Court had on Thursday allowed a court-monitored survey of the Shahi Idgah complex, an important milestone in the temple mosque dispute in Mathura.
See, the Shahi Idgah Masjid and Sunni Central Waqf Board had challenged the order passed by the Honorable Allahabad High Court for appointment of Advocate Commissioner before the Honorable Supreme Court today, and they sought for a stay of the proceedings before the Allahabad High Court. The Honorable Supreme Court has refused to stay the proceedings, and the Honorable Supreme Court has fixed the matter so far as challenge to the transfer order is concerned on 9th of January.
The Maldives, under President Mohammad Mizo's leadership, has chosen not to renew an agreement with India on a hydrographic survey a month after requesting the withdrawal of Indian military personnel. Now, this shift follows the government's India Out campaign. The agreement signed in 2019 allowed India to survey Maldivian waters. According to a report in the Indian Express, the Maldives government in charge since November has informed India of its decision not to renew the pact. The move marks the termination of the first bilateral agreement under the new administration, officially concluding on June 7, 2024. China has said that the Indian Supreme Court's verdict on Article 370 upholding the centre's decision to carve out the Union Territory of Ladakh from the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir does not have any bearing on the claim of the western section of the China-India border. India's Supreme Court unanimously upheld the central government's decision to abrogate provisions of Article 370 bestowing special status to the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir. The Apex Court also upheld the validity of the centre's decision to carve out the Union Territory of Ladakh from the erstwhile state of J&K and directed restoration of statehood at the earliest, as well as holding elections to the Assembly by September 30th next year. "85 Palestinian athletes have been reportedly killed in Israel's war on Hamas. Palestinian Football Association says it has documented the killing of 85 Palestinian athletes, including 55 football players and 30 other sports players. Palestinian news agency Wafa reported that Israel deliberately targeted Palestinian athletes and sports facilities. Football players, including 18 children and 37 youth, have been targeted, is what the claim says. Now, the Israeli bombing also led to destruction of 9 sports facilities, 4 in West Bank and 5 in the Gaza Strip. Report also states that IDF has detained 3 athletes in West Bank and unknown number in the Gaza Strip. Palestinian authorities are now claiming especially that the Israeli armed forces has targeted several athletes of Palestine. It is being said that at least 55 athletes who are from that region have been targeted, and of it 18 are children and 37 are said to be youth. China is in the grip of a severe cold spell as it is experiencing heavy snowfall that disrupts transportation in various cities like Beijing. The China Meteorological Administration predicted a further 8 to 12 degrees Celsius drop in most regions over the next 2 days, with some areas including central Inner Mongolia and northern Shaanxi facing plunge of more than 20 degrees Celsius. The extreme weather follows a year of climate extremes in China, from frigid temperatures in January to record rainfall and scorching summer heat, all attributed to the impacts of climate change. In northeast Australia, tropical storm Jasper caused havoc with heavy rains, downing trees, cutting power and triggering evacuations. After hitting Queensland on December 13th as a Category 2 storm, it's now a tropical low heading towards northwest. The storm, now downgraded to a tropical low, was tracking in a northwesterly direction towards the Gulf of Carpentaria, where it would intensify back to a cyclonic strength over the weekend. Australia's Bureau of Meteorology has been tracking the weather system for quite some time.
Encourage people today to stay up to date with those warnings, as this is an evolving situation and the rainfall has not stopped yet and is likely to continue well into today and into this evening as well. As well as the riverine flooding risk, we've also seen heavy to locally intense rainfall, which can lead to flash flooding.
Well, I was at home and it was just sideways rain, mate, just going straight past the window. Yeah, if pigs were going to fly, it was last night, but it was pretty. it was all good. I think everyone survived it, so that's the main thing.
Well, up next is watch News9's plus in-depth analysis of the rise in illegal immigration from India to US, the UK and Canada. With that, it's a wrap on this bulletin.
उन्होंने मुझे बताया था कि आप चिंता मत करो, मैं आपको भरोसा दिलाता हूँ। फिर ये मेरा परिवार सब खत्म हो गया।
In a disturbing discovery on the Minnesota-Canada border, police found the bodies of 4 family members who they say froze to death.
Sent shockwaves across 2 continents and left many people asking a simple question: why?